First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakodash. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone that do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, unto the true and sincere brothers that are out there prophesying, laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you, I say shalom. A false balance, slavery, debt system. All right, and what I'm about to go into is just another example of why we call this devil Esau Edom the devil. Okay, and upon looking at this, I got this picture from a screenshot from a post on Reddit, and I thought it was a misprint. All right, and this is basically showing you the loan breakdown of what they call a tribal loan, and I didn't know. I had to look that up. I looked it up in ChatGPT to see what the hell it was. All right, and these loans that they given Gad, Reuben, all right, on the reservations is ridiculous. All right, and they, upon looking up the definition, I'll look up in chat. It says, I said, what is a tribal loan? A tribal loan is a loan offered by lending companies that are owned and operated by Native American tribes. And at the end of the day, Gad don't got no money to be setting up no banks, to be lending nobody nothing. All right. So of course this is set up by the devil. All right, who comes in and infiltrates any and everything. All right, and they're upon looking at this, their Esau's fingerprints is all on this. All right, and let me read the definition. Then I'm gonna show you the breakdown of someone who posted that the loan and with the interest they pay. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Okay, it says these lenders operate under tribal sovereignty, meaning they may not be subject to the same state laws and regulations as other lenders. And what this devil does, he just takes advantage of Jake's ignorance, of Jake's desperation, to survive for money. Okay, and he makes them debt slaves. Pretty much we're all debt slaves at the end of the day. But this is like this, man. When you see the terms of this loan, it's just crazy. Okay. Here's a breakdown of the key points. What makes tribal loans different? Sovereignty, immunity. Tribal lenders can claim exemption from state regulations, including interest rates caps, because they have based in tribal land. High interest rates. Because of the regulatory loophole, many tribal loans come with very high APR, sometimes 300% or more. And upon looking at this one, so the person, keep in mind, the original loan amount was $750. All right? And they're charging them $2,248.97 to borrow $750. All right. And look at the interest rate. The interest rate is 671.82%. That is ridiculous. All right. You figure after $214.20. I'm no economist. I'm no, but I know a little bit about finance and credit, and this is ridiculous. After 4 payments, you didn't gave them $450 back plus maybe a 10 or 15% interest. But no, the loan payment schedule is ridiculous. You end up paying almost $3,000 to borrow. You're really paying almost $2,200 to borrow $700. That's ridiculous. Okay? And they try to say, oh, it's operated by Native Americans. Bullshit. And even if it is, all right, our people are wicked as hell over there. Because that's usury. You're not supposed to do that. All right, to your fellow Israelite brother. Let me get that. This is and usury is a few places in the scriptures. I'm just going to grab this one in Deuteronomy 23:9. And usury is interest. 23:19. Deuteronomy 23:19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. And usury is, like I said, it's interest. Let's look at this. Look this up in the other Bibles. Do not charge fellow Israelite interest, whether on money or food or anything else that may earn interest. You're not supposed to charge your fellow Israelite brother. And excuse me. And upon looking at the definition, they try to say it's Native American tribes, but Gad don't own no damn banks. They don't even own them casinos that they allow them to have on their so-called land. All right, where Esau gave them the shittiest part of the land and say, okay, you can have a reservation here where it has no resources, has no clean water, it has no, nothing. All right, it's the worst part of land, and and Gad, of course, it's Gad. All right, all the tribes are under the curses, and they took that weak ass deal, and then let Esau come over there, give them jacked up loans, and let them build casinos. You're seeing why we call this man the devil. Okay, and this is one of numerous reasons, that this devil, how he's being revealed and why we call him the devil. Okay, his man is Satan. All right, he keeps you in debt to pay, to be in debt to him forever. All right, let me look at this again. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, and this is what and they got him paying this every 2 weeks. It ain't like, So, I'm pretty sure over there on the reservation, they got minimum wage paying jobs if they have jobs or whatever little money they get, and they got to give it right back to these devils for borrowing $750. All right, and I was reading the comments, and I'm not sure if you can have a prepayment, if there's a prepayment penalty or whatever, but it's just that's real debt slavery. All right, like I said, we're all uh, debt slaves under this devil, but that's ridiculous. All right, if you know anything about finance and interest and credit and credit card interest, man, that's I wouldn't even pay it. All right, and then that's crazy. I couldn't imagine myself. They had to send that shit to the collections or whatever, But let me get some more scriptures. Let me get the scripture I was going to start off with. Actually, this is Proverbs 11 and 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is delight. That's clearly a false balance. Okay. How this devil, is doing our brothers on a reservation. All right. And Jacobs, man, if you ever been to a reservation, it's jacked up. It's effed up over there. All right. People think that, they got their own land. No, hell no. Yeah, they got their own land, but they living in trailers. All right. They don't have running water. They don't got running electricity sometimes. All right, it's the worst part of the land that they could give them. Jake in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, reservations in California, Arizona, New Mexico, all over. Jake is catching hell. Jake is still under the curses. Whether you think that the Native Americans they get they get tax write-offs and this, they don't get shit. All right, Esau's over there running things, and if they do got someone that's a native, so-called native, I'll say, they bought and paid for it. Ain't no different than a nigga in a Christian church, all right, that's telling Jake to do everything but repent. All right, this is Proverbs 20 and 23. It reads, diverse weights is an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. This is, like I said, this is a false balance. All right, let me jump over to the book of Micah chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, shall I count them pure with the wicked balance and with a bag of deceitful weights? All right, that's a unbalanced and a bag of deceitful weights. For the rich man thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Therefore also will I make thee sick and smiting thee, in making thee desolate because of thy sins. So this devil Esau, they're gonna pay. They're gonna pay for all the wickedness that they've done. Okay, but this is, like I said, it's a bag of deceitful weights. All right, yeah, you may be getting the money up front, okay, but on the back end, you're paying this devil 3 times as much. Okay, hell, more than that on the interest. All right, and why does this go on? Why does this, why has this never been brought to the light? Okay, because Gad is, they made Gad so docile over there Gad is so dead and docile over there on the reservations. All right, they give him, alcohol to keep him drunk and keep him, yeah, drunk and dazed and confused. They don't know what's going on. All right, the outside world don't know and really don't care what's going on over on them reservations where Jake is at. It says, of course, pros, easy approval. Of course, they need the money to pay bills or whatever they got to pay. So they go to these devils which is, where these devils set up our own people to take advantage. They set up our people to take advantage of our own damn people. And them wicked ass jakes over there that's doing that, the Lord gonna jack their ass up too. All right, because they made a covenant with death. They made a covenant with the devil. All right, and they're gonna pay for that. Funds are sometimes available within 24 hours, available in restrictive states, offered even where payday lending is banned or restricted. Of course, if they got a system like that and they know Jake is desperate, all right, they're gonna say, yeah, we'll lend you the money, but you got to pay this much interest. And at the time being, they ain't thinking about the interest; they just thinking about the money and getting out of whatever situation they need, whatever type situation they may be in. Cons: extremely high costs. The interest and fees can add up quickly. Legal gray area. Not all tribal lenders are legally operating under tribal law. Some are rent-a-tribe schemes where a non-tribal entities try to exploit legal loopholes. That's what Esau's doing. You may not be able to rely on your state consumer protection laws. Of course you can't. All right, because once you sign those papers, all right, you pretty much signed over your some of your financial rights. So you have to pay these people, or I'm pretty sure they have something written in there where they could sue you or garnish your wages. That's how this devil gets down. All right, a legal issue. Tribal lending is controversial. Some tribe lenders have faced lawsuits for charging illegal interest rates, trying to skirt federal and law lending and state and lending laws, operating without proper tribal oversight. All right, and it sounds like these motherfuckers ain't nothing but loan sharks, pretty much, giving jacked up loans, and if you don't pay them, they're gonna threaten you. All right, tribal loans can be the last resort option, but they can carry significant financial risk. Always read the fine print. And they know Jake is in a lot of Jake over there, Gad, Reuben, is desperate and they don't got the money. Okay, so what do? They take on these jacked up loans. But it says that in the curses. Okay, that they're gonna lend. Let me get it. Thou shalt lend to thee. Okay. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 44. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right, and it ain't supposed to be like that. All right, the blessings say right here in the verse 12, let me see, is it 12? Yeah, the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasures, the heaven, to give the rain unto the land in his season, and to bless all the work of thy hand. And thou shalt lend money unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. We're not even supposed to be borrowing. Okay, but we went off as a nation, all 12 tribes, and now we're in the situation we're in, financial situation, mental situation, physical situations, all come with the curses, and we got to borrow money from these devils. Okay, running up credit cards and taking out payday loans and pawning this just to try to make it. All right, and things are going to get drastically worse and worse and worse the closer we get to the end of this. Okay, let me get this in Sirach. Let me see. Actually, let me go back to Proverbs. There's a few more scriptures in Proverbs. I want to get Proverbs 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay, we weren't. These Edomites are born servants. We weren't supposed to be the servants. Okay, we're Yasharala. We're princes of the power. How the hell did we end up serving them? Because of the curses. It goes back to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, verse 16, all the way to 68. All the curses. That's why we got to take out. That's why we're in, as a nation, we're in the position that we're in. Okay, all 12 tribes, all Jake got curses on them. I don't care if you may have millions in the bank, or you got some type of status. Esau still does not look at you as equal. All right, you still a nigga in Esau's mind. All right, and you're still under the curses. You still got to pay taxes. You still a nigga can have money like Jay-Z. You still got to go to work. You still got to punch a clock for this devil. All right, so we're all under the curses, whether you Jakes want to believe it or not. All right, another precept in the book of Proverbs 28 and verse 15. As a roaring lion, and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. That's Esau, man. As a roaring lion and a raging bear. That's you know, that's how this devil rules over Jake. All right, as a roaring lion or a raging bear. All right, just in looking to strike us any way they can. All right, and intimidate us any way they can. All right. Let me get the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13 and verse 19. It reads, "As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor." Okay, and clearly we understand and see who the rich is right now, who's ruling. All right, who has the power to lend. Okay, we can't lend no money to nobody. We clearly see who's the authority right now. All right. Let me go a chapter over to Sirach 14 and verse 9. A covetous man's eyes is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. This devil has everything. Okay, he's ruled. He rules the whole world. This devil could never have enough. He's not satisfied with his portion. Okay, he got to go on a reservation and take advantage of them. Okay, they should be tax free. They shouldn't even be over there bothering them. Okay, but no, he finds a way he finds a way to try to f you over. All right, to put you in a tight situation, and here he comes with the solution, but it comes at a price. All right, this devil, man, this devil is going to pay. He is going to pay. Man, he's going to pay severely for all the things think about all the things that we're bringing out, how he's being revealed. What about all the shit that we don't know that this devil is doing? He's going to get, he's going to, hey, that's coming out too. He's going to be exposed for that, and he's going to pay for that. Okay. Another one in Proverbs 28 and verse 22. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. All right, this guy has an evil eye. He wants to be. He's already rich. This devil rules the world, but he wants more. He wants to continue to rule over you Israelites with rigor and to ultimately conquer you. Okay, and his end game is that mark of the beast. All right, hey, imagine that. Imagine them going on the reservation and admitting, yeah, we had these tribal loans. They weren't they weren't done right, but now we have a new system we want to set up. And you have to put, and everything is going. You can borrow money when you need it, and you'll have a 5% interest, yada yada yada. Esau going to try to sweeten the deal just to get you tribes to take on that MOTB system. All right, to take that chip ultimately. All right, but hey, it's gonna be those. It's gonna be Gad. It's gonna be hey, it's gonna be 2/3 of the tribes that's gonna take it. All right, 2/3 of the tribes of Israelites are going to take it, but it's the elect that's not. Okay, that's going to resist. All right, the temptation of this devil and his mark and his image. All right, this is Psalm 73, verse 7. Their eyes stand with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. They are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They speak proud. Okay? But this says, the seventh verse says, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. Like I said earlier, this devil is rich. All right? He's wealthy. Owns all the land. He owns the world. Okay? He has control of all these resources, all these industries. But he got to have, in his mind, he got to have it all. He has to touch. Ain't nothing moving without his say so. That's how this devil thinks. Okay, he got to go over to the reservation and take advantage of them, giving them loans for $750 and 671.882% interest. The cost of your loan, cost of your credit as yearly rate. That's crazy. Finance charge. So to borrow $750, you're going to pay almost $3,000. All right? And they got the nerve to charge you a late fee. All right? Esau's going to pay, man. I just wanted to bring this out. I had never heard of what a tribal loan before, and upon looking up and doing a little bit of research, it's man, it's crazy. It's disgusting how this devil how this devil continues to take advantage of the ignorance of our people, and Jake don't know. Jake don't know no better. All right, Jake is in a tough situation, and you know, hey, Jake needs salvation. Jake needs Yahawashi. We all need Yahawashi to come and deliver us from the hands of these devils. Okay? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham Bahasham Harakakadash. Shalom.